Hello party people, welcome back to my channel. If you like this video, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you want to hear part 2 of this story, let me know. I'll probably do it anyway, I'll record it anyway, so just subscribe for more. Basically, this story, I'm going to tell you about the time that I was arrested, and I'm going to tell you pretty in-depth what happened to me, why I was arrested, and this is just my story time video. So, for part 1, I'm going to cover a few key things. The reason I was arrested. So, this was back in 2021. Back in 2021, I was married. I was in a toxic marriage. I did not have a great time with a lot of things that were going on at the time. I was not myself. I was very angry. I was very flooded. I would classify myself at times as verbally abusive because I was just so frustrated with our life and how things were going and how I was being treated. And so I reactive abuse, I was very angry. Which is why I advocate that if you're in a situation like that, you need to get out before you become a monster, or at least be perceived as a monster. So anyway, I'm in an argument with my ex-wife, and we're sitting in the car, and I got so mad that we're sitting inside the car, and I hit the windshield of the car. And the windshield of the car cracks, and it cracks all the way up and down, and scared the living crap out of her. And I feel bad to this day about what happened. But she got scared. So obviously I'm trying to calm her down, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. Well, we get to what we were arguing about. I'm not going to share, but we were arguing about something that I felt very strongly about, and I felt like I was not being acknowledged, and I felt like it was a big deal. Bigger deal than it actually was, but I certainly felt in the moment when my body was flooded like I needed to have control. All I wanted was control. Not of her per se, but just of myself and the situation I was in. I felt unsafe. But obviously, if you put someone else in danger, nobody cares how unsafe you feel, right? Especially if you're a man. So we get into the situation where it's not that day that I go to jail. We end up doing exactly what we were arguing about. So we were arguing about she wanted to do something. I didn't want to do it. We ended up going and doing it anyway. The next day, I'm at work. It's late in the night. I work overnight, working with some special needs adults. And while I'm there, I'm the sole caretaker of them. I receive a phone call. So I'm already looking for like Safe Light repair, Safe Light replace, the little theme song. I'm looking for them to try to fix the windshield of the car. And as I'm like kind of looking that up, Googling it on my phone, I get a phone call, and hello, this is Officer Myers with the blank blank police department. I just wanted to get your side of the story. And I'm like, by the way, screw you, Officer Myers, lying butthead. I'll tell you why in a minute. But so I make a mistake because from a legal standpoint, I felt like I had nothing to hide, but I did. You don't want to speak to police officers and give them information that doesn't benefit you. Never speak to a police officer without an attorney. If they want answers, they need to get an attorney, right? They need to get you an attorney. So I'm not saying that what I did was right. What I'm saying is I should have had an attorney. I shouldn't have just given them information that they can freely use against me in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed to you by the state. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do can and will be used against you in a court of law, right? So I didn't exercise my rights. In fact, they didn't even offer me my rights because I wasn't under arrest. They simply just asked for my statement, and I gave them my statement. And I explained what had happened. I said exactly what happened. I was very honest about it. And I just thought it was going to be... I didn't know that in the state of Utah, if you damage property, you unfortunately, or I guess fortunately, it just depends on the situation, really. But if you damage property in an argument, or if you take keys in an argument, or if you take a cell phone in an argument, that's considered domestic violence. And I actually understand it. I didn't appreciate that I got arrested, but at the same time, looking back now, it had to happen. It was life lessons I had to learn. And those laws have protected some people. But it made me realize that domestic violence is not just hitting someone. It could be hitting the wall. It could be hitting the car. It could be damaging property. It could be doing any kind of show of force, right? So anyway, I give my statement, and he doesn't say I'm going to get arrested. He asked me to come into the station for lying, Officer Myers. Screw you, dude. But he asked me to get in a situation where what's the word? Like he kind of manipulates and says, like, if you come down and give a statement, like, we just need you to come down and give a statement about what happened. So I'm kind of panicking at the time, and I'm kind of freaking out. And I get a text message. I don't really remember how the information was relayed, but according to I got a message from my ex-wife, and she said I'm going to get arrested because she didn't know I was going to get arrested. But when she informed them of this situation, like, they said I was going to get arrested. So Officer Myers doing his job, but, like, also, come on, I didn't like the way it was done. Of course, I didn't like it because it was happening to me, but he ended up. Yeah, so when I found out that information, I kind of left work. So I asked if I could leave work. They said yes. Someone came, took care of the special needs guys. Thank goodness, because I didn't want them, left alone, obviously. But I was thinking about fleeing. Like, I had this thought in my mind. I didn't know how long I was going to go to jail. I didn't know what was going to happen to me. I was so flooded and scared. And I was 19 at the time. I had no idea what was going to happen to me. I was young. I was scared. I was in way over my head. I was in a relationship that made me feel so in danger all the time. And I ended up, thinking, like, where could I go? Like, do I run? Like, am I going to spend 6 months in jail? Am I going to spend 2 years in jail? I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't even know what I did was illegal. I know damaging property was illegal, but I didn't know that that was illegal. And so I end up being kind of freaked out. And I decide, I can't run. I can't go anywhere. First of all, technology is too good, and I don't want to be a fugitive, even if I was. And at the time, which this makes it worse, so bear with me because I feel bad about it too, but she was pregnant with my son, who I love very much, and he's doing very well right now. But 3 years ago, when she was about to give birth, this happened. This happened probably, I think, 9 days before his birthday, like his actual birth date. And so I thought I was going to miss out on him, but that's going to be in part 2. So anyway, I turned myself in the next day, and I tell my dad, hey, can you drop me off? I'm going to jail. And he's like, what? It was pretty embarrassing. It was really sad because, my dad, I don't like to disappoint him too much, He's not really hard to please. Like, he's a good man. My mom, not really hard to please. But definitely they worry. And so I'm getting dropped off by my dad in the morning in a police car, knowing, because they didn't tell me I was going to get arrested, but I knew I was going to get arrested. So I show up, I say, hey, I'm pretty sure they're going to arrest me. So I don't know if there's a warrant or how this works, but, I'm here to talk to freaking Officer Myers. Screw that guy. But essentially, we get in the situation where I end up answering the questions. I say, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm here to get arrested. That's what I was told. And then he asked me all these questions, which, by the way, don't speak without an attorney. And then he says, yeah, you're here to get arrested. And then they did the whole hands behind the back thing. And my dad's like, okay, I'll see you in a bit, bud. Just, I don't know how he felt at the time, but it was probably really hard on him. Because he's sensitive like me. So I get put in the backseat of a car, a squad car, and I get taken up to the city that the jail is. And I'm uncomfortable. Handcuffs don't feel good. They do not feel good at all. They're not fun. They don't feel good. And the more you move, the tighter they get at times. And I'm over here, like, with my hands behind my back, and I'm trying not to move, and I'm trying to make friendly conversation with the officer, but I'm just trying to comfort myself. So I get to jail, and he's like, okay, you're being cooperative, so I'm going to take you out of cuffs. Don't do anything stupid, or obviously there's going to be problems with you being out of cuffs. So I'm like, okay, I'm good. Like, I'm good. I'm not going anywhere. I really don't know where I'm going to go. I don't even know where I'm at. I know I'm at the jail. Never hang out at the jail. I'm not the kind of person who goes to jail. At least that's what I thought, That's what people say, is that you may not be the kind of person who goes to jail, but you can end up there. Nobody's above the law, and nobody's above corruption, and nobody's above bad situations. If you put yourself in a bad situation, you could get popped for it. So make sure that you're around the right people. Make sure that you're not in situations where you're a worse version of yourself. I learned that lesson the hard way. And I'm glad I did, because I can help you with this story. So anyway, I'm actually going to make this, we're at about 10 minutes. I'm going to split this into a part 2. So come back for more, because I'm going to record it right now. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll talk soon.